It broke my heart.
Copystrike that video.
What?
No, alright. I know that sounds bad.
Hey everyone, I'm Not Dead Yet, a national boxing silver medalist, certified level 3 boxing coach, and certified boxing official, and this is my channel where I do whatever the hell I want. Sometimes that's challenging way bigger YouTubers to boxing matches that they will never accept, other times that's reacting to anime, but today I am giving my thoughts on the whole Geoffrey Schofield, Greg Doucette drama now that it has all finally come to a close. So a lot has happened and there's quite a bit to summarize, so if you want a little bit of context, go watch my first video on the matter and all the videos I have linked in the description of that video. But what I want to do with this video is kind of go through the list of content creators that were more directly involved with the drama and kind of give my thoughts on how they handled everything and what I'm taking away from each of those creators now that the whole thing is over. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting with Greg Doucette, what do I think about the apology video that he put out after my video went live? Honestly, I really liked it. I think it was the perfect apology video and the best way he could have possibly handled the situation. He explained away any lingering questions that I still had, admitted to his mistakes, actually said he was sorry, and said that he likes and openly welcomes criticism. I think that's perfect, and at the end of the day, now the only thing left to do is forgive him and move on. I know a lot of people will say that, oh, he's only doing it for the wrong reasons because he got backlash. I don't think so. I believe that he is genuine. I choose to believe he's genuine for a multitude of reasons, but one of them at the end of the day is that intent is incredibly difficult to prove. When you boil it down to it, the only person who really knows whether or not Greg Doucette is being genuine is Greg Doucette himself. So I believe he's genuine. But if you don't, it is going to be pretty difficult for me to convince you otherwise. I will say, however, that after my video went up, Greg and I had a pretty long conversation back and forth on Instagram, just talking, voice messages back and forth, and he was very, very kind to me. We just talked about the nature of YouTube, drama, life, and everything in between. It was a great conversation, and one of the parts that stuck out to me personally was when I said to him, I want to make something clear. I am a very loyal person. I don't want you to think that I am not a loyal person. However, I have been blindly loyal before, and because of my blind loyalty, not only was I hurt, but other people were hurt as well, and I do not want to be blindly loyal to someone and watch other people get hurt again. His reply to me was, listen, I understand. I'm an honest person, but I understand that a lot of people aren't as honest as me. I get it. Don't worry. And that to me speaks volumes, that he was willing to go and understand my point of view. A lot of people call Greg a narcissist, and I think there is a little bit of truth to that. I watched a video, I can't remember who said it. It may have been from the 10-Cent Story, who I will mention later on in this video, but he said that fitness is inherently a narcissistic endeavor, fitness YouTube anyway. And that is true. You see ego all over fitness YouTube. Greg has it, he admits it, as do I. There's a reason why I say when it comes to boxing, I'm a god. However, I think that is mostly a personality that he plays. I'm not saying that he's lying on YouTube, but I think the personality that he plays on YouTube is his personality cranked up to 11. He enhances certain parts of his personality to make himself more entertaining, as we all do. So, when things are boiled down, I believe he is an incredibly genuine person, because if he was really as narcissistic and as egotistical as everyone made him out to be, would he really be able to understand me that way? Would he really look at me and go, yes, I get it? If someone was super full of themselves, would they be willing to go, I understand why you doubt me, don't worry about it? Or would someone who's incredibly narcissistic go, how dare you doubt me? How dare you question my morals? How dare you? Food for thought. Next on the list, Geoffrey, Verity, Schofield. How do I think he walks away from all of this? Well, I watched the original video because I never got the chance to watch it to begin with before I made my previous video on the topic. And honestly, in terms of that video specifically, I'm rather unimpressed. I think the monkey comments in regards to Greg's team were going way too far, and ultimately, I personally disagree with the general message of the video. A lot of his points boil down to it's way overpriced, and for me, price is kind of a non-issue, because if you don't like the price, you can't afford it, or you think it's a ripoff, simply don't buy it. Like, that's the solution. I'm not going to buy that plan for $1,000. I'll say it straight up. But if people want to buy the plan for $1,000, let them buy the plan for $1,000. When it comes to aggressive marketing, I've already kind of made my stance on that clear in my first video, but in summary, it's that one sentence where I said commercialization is inevitable. And that's kind of how I view it. Like, you don't necessarily have to agree with it or like it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that what he's doing is morally wrong. Most of the stuff that he points out in his video, to me, are just simply marketing and advertisement 101. And if you're going to sell a product, wouldn't you follow the basic rules of advertisement and marketing? So for me, again, it's kind of a non-issue. I can understand why someone would not exactly be happy about it, but painting it out like it's this morally bad thing, I simply just do not agree. And the final point I disagree with is when he says that it's insulting that Greg values his laser eye test and a personal message from him at $250. Yes, that is pretty high, but have you seen how much a lot of celebrities charge on Cameo? Earlier this year, January, I think, I saw a bidding war go up into the thousands just to have Mike Tyson follow someone back on Instagram. I am a massive Mike Tyson fan, but to me, that's just not worth it. But some people are willing to pay it. And so if you value something at a certain price, who's to stop you? And if other people don't value it at that price, then they won't buy it. Just leave it be. And that's kind of how I view the whole he charges too much. If it's too much for you, then it's too much for you, whatever. However, I don't want you guys to think that I'm just kind of crapping on Geoffrey. Yes, Geoffrey. Sorry, bad with names. I don't want you guys to think that I'm crapping on Geoffrey. There are points that I think that he makes that are incredibly valid. One of them is when he criticizes why Greg sends out his questionnaire after you purchase his plan. He's like, you should just make the questionnaire readily available because that gives people more of an idea of what they're signing up for. I think that's a genuinely good criticism, honestly. I never really questioned it because that seems to be the general thing that happens in like the fitness industry, and when you buy a plan is they send you the questionnaire after you've already paid. However, I think he makes a good point that, you know, it could be good for marketing just to have a look at what you're kind of getting into before you decide to buy. I think that's a good criticism. Also, credit where credit is due, he made a pinned comment where he addresses certain issues like, oh, I didn't mean to say this as a lie. It's more so just I didn't know. There was no way I could have possibly known that. Like when he said that the newsletter that was sent out to only 2,000 people, I believe, was sent out to everyone. Even I thought originally that it was sent out to probably everyone because that's just kind of how newsletters work. So again, good props to Geoffrey for correcting that. And all in all, even though we don't see eye to eye on everything, I think Geoffrey walks away looking pretty classy. Next in line is Alec Enkiri, and much like Geoffrey, I think Alec Enkiri walks away looking incredibly classy. After Greg released his apology video, Alec Enkiri rapidly released another video responding to Greg's apology where he praises Greg and says, you did the right thing. Props to you for apologizing. Props to you for putting the video back up. Respect to you. And I have massive respect for Alec for that because Alec says a lot, like a lot of fitness YouTubers, that he's just telling it as he sees it, right? But the big difference between telling something like you see it or telling it like it is and just simply being a hater or giving unneeded criticism is being willing to admit when you're wrong and being willing to give credit where credit is due. Alex showed that he is willing to admit that he was wrong in certain aspects and give credit where it was due. And I have to respect him for it. That is a really, really respectable thing to do. He could have just left it alone. He could have just been like, okay, it's over. I'm not going to make another video. But instead, he went out of his way to make another video to say, hey, look, good on you, Greg. You did the right thing. And I think that, again, much like Geoffrey, Alec walks away looking incredibly classy. Not only that, but much like what I said before, he defends Greg because a lot of people say, oh, you're doing this for the wrong reasons. But Alec Enkiri was the first person to say, listen, it doesn't matter what reasons he's doing it for because we can never truly know what reasons he's apologizing for. Only Greg knows, right? All that matters is the outcome, and the outcome was a good one. Also, he encourages the community to hold fitness YouTubers to a higher standard and congratulates the community on a big success, taking down the copyright strike. And I must agree, pat yourselves on the back, community. You guys did a good job. And again, props to Alec Enkiri. Next to be reviewed is Mr. Tell It Like It Is, Jonni Shreve. And the reason why I used air quotes for Tell It Like It Is because a lot of people believe that he didn't tell it like it is and simply just jumped to defend Greg with his coaching up on Geoffrey. And while I do agree that the timing was pretty convenient and that he did rip Geoffrey a new asshole in his video, I do believe that it wasn't done in bad faith. Now, for a few reasons. One, he straight up admits that he put it out mainly because he wanted to capitalize on the drama for views. He says it in his live stream that I put it out because Geoffrey's name was getting big and there's Greg, and so and people know that I like Greg, so I put it out to kind of get people to click, right? And again, for tell it like it is, he's telling it like it is. That is why I did it. I think there's some respect to be had for that. However, do I think that he did it in bad faith and just kind of tore him a new asshole purposefully to make him look bad? I do not think so, personally. I know a lot of people see it that way. However, one of the things you have to remember is these creators are human, and whether intentional or not, he may have let the fact that Greg was really angry and maybe vented to him and they talked about it to kind of psych him up a little bit, and subconsciously that affected the way he judged Geoffrey. He's also very passionate about bad form, as he mentions multiple times all over YouTube and comment sections in his videos. So his passion and anger at bad form, coupled with the anger that he may have already had or frustration he already felt due to the drama, may have caused him to subconsciously be a little bit harder on Geoffrey than he would have if he were completely calm and level-headed. Oh, one other thing, Curly Next did a really good video on, you know, that whole Jonni Shreve side of the drama, where he talked kind of about that, where he thinks that Jonni Shreve did it in bad faith, but Jonni Shreve also left a comment response that Curly Next pinned to the top of the comment thread. I'll leave that video in the description so you can watch the video, read Johnny's response, as well as kind of muse what I said and come to your own conclusions. And finally, the last person up on the chopping block is me. How did I handle this situation? And honestly, personally speaking, you guys can disagree with me. You can think that I handled the situation great. I think I could have handled it a little bit better. I did my best to remain as emotionally impartial as I possibly could. However, you gotta realize that that is an impossibility. When I looked at this situation, you have to realize that I am emotionally invested in 3 of the people that were tied to that drama. I am friends with Greg. I am friendly. Again, I wouldn't necessarily say friends with Johnny. I've talked to him a little bit, but I am friendly with Johnny, and I am also friendly with Alec Enkiri. Again, I won't say exactly friends, but we've talked back and forth quite a few times. So that is 3 people that I am emotionally invested in, and this whole drama breaks out with all of them, and I find myself caught in the middle. I'm doing my best to be as impartial as I can, but much like I said with Jonni Shreve, I believe looking back that my ties to those people led me to be a little bit more emotionally tied than I would have liked. Which is why I'm willing to give Jonni Shreve the benefit of the doubt, because again, I know what it's like to do my best to be impartial and ultimately fail because I am emotionally invested in some of the people in the whole situation. If you guys want to see a truly impartial breakdown of what happened, we are bringing back the name The 10 Cent Story. He's the guy that comments very often on my channel. You'll see him in a lot of my comment sections, and he made an incredibly good analytical video, impartial, on the situation, because he kind of was away for the weekend on a military thing, and he showed up near the end of it when it was basically all done. So rather than getting super emotionally invested while all of it was happening, he kind of showed up at the end and went, what the hell did I miss? And so he was able to kind of, and he is not tied to anyone. He is not really like, he isn't super close to any of the YouTubers involved, so he was able to take a step back and truly look at things as impartial as he possibly could have, and put out a really, really good analytical video on the situation. I'll have it linked in the description. Go check it out. I want to end this video off with a message to my viewers about consumerism and corporate greed, because my last video ended with a message to Greg about the exact same issue. Because it's very easy to look at people who are successful in making money and saying, oh, you're greedy, you're exploiting these people, you're a bad person, when we have to remember that we have just as much blood on their hands, if not more, than those people who are actually making money. Why? Because when we consume what they are doing, we are telling them that what they are doing is okay. As long as the money, likes, and clicks and views keep pouring in, we're telling them that and it's okay. People say they hate drama videos on YouTube, and yet what are the videos that get the most amount of views? Drama. People get mad at Apple saying they're a terrible company because their products are made by children in sweatshops in third world countries, and yet who is quick to jump and buy the newest iPhone 15 for $6 billion because it's some sort of status symbol? We, as the consumers, have just as much of a responsibility to be held accountable as the people up top. And I truly believe when it comes to YouTube drama, and this drama specifically, I think it was just a big misunderstanding that was blown way out of proportions by people willing to jump, to attack, and defend on either side of the coin. When YouTube drama breaks out, it is just as much a war between the viewers of each creator as it is a battle between the creators themselves. So I want you guys to take away the message that whenever YouTube drama breaks out, to take a step back and do your best to think critically on the matter and maybe reserve full-on judgment until all the information comes into light. But also remember that no matter what happens, we as the viewers and we as the consumers are partially, or if not even more, to blame than the people that are directly involved, because we are the ones that egg them on and encourage them to keep doing what they are doing. But those are just my thoughts on the matter. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and do everything you have to do. But until next time, I'm not dead yet, and if you aren't either, there is always a tomorrow waiting for you.